Hey guys, okay, I know I asked you in my Insta stories. Let's do some freezer meals, trying to get ahead of the craziness that is here in this family of 6. So you guys said you would like to see the meal prep that I'm going to be doing for this coming week in July. So like I said, I'm just really trying to get ahead of the craziness, you know? And I feel like on those nights when you really don't want to stand behind the stove and cook, these will probably come in handy. So these are crock pot freezer meals, and I'm doing sweet fire chicken, honey sesame chicken, sweet teriyaki chicken, and orange pepper chicken. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first freezer meal crock pot that we are going to prep is this sweet fire chicken. And let me say, I got all of this from another YouTuber called She's in Her Apron. She has a ton of freezer meals, just how to like prep for feeding a large family. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm trying to cut my food budget this month by 25%. So that's $300. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. It's at House of Adriana, and welcome if you don't. So let's get prepping. So first, this recipe is a sweet fire chicken, and it calls for 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And this is what I'm using. I'm a little cheater sometimes, but that is okay. And you'll see 2 baggies that I have. And like I said, if I'm gonna prep once so I can eat twice, I feel like that's my new slogan. Prep once so I can eat twice. And then it says 1 to 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper. I'm not going to do a full teaspoon. I'm going to do a quarter because I am feeding littles. So crushed red pepper. And then it says 2/3 a cup of sugar. Now this is completely up to you if you want to use the 2/3 or not. That's quite a bit, actually. This is 1/3 of a cup right here, one of these, and it's asking for 2 of them. So I'm just gonna do 1. This is dinner, so just gonna do 1. Then it calls for 1 cup of water. Okay, so we're back to 1 cup of water in each baggie. However, I did hear her say that that was too much, so she wanted to bring it down a little bit. So I'm just gonna do 1/2 cup in each bag, because your chicken does contain water in it, so as you cook it, it will let go of some of the water in it. 2 tablespoons, I'm thinking that's what she means here, of the sweet chili sauce. So this is what they had in my grocery store, if you can see. I don't know about it, I've never had it, but I'm gonna make it as close to this recipe as possible. So it says 2 tablespoons in each. So, and the first time I make a recipe, unless it's sugar, I will make it how it is written. And then after I cook it, I'll see what needs to be adjusted. Okay. So I believe she meant tablespoons on this. Then it calls for salt, of course. 1/2 teaspoon. That's exactly what I have. And I'm using the pink Himalayan salt, which is a little bit more saltier than regular table salt. Then it says the 1 large red bell pepper chopped. So I already did that, save some time, save some editing, because I'm about eating it sometimes. I'm just eyeballing this to be 1 bell pepper. And then it says 20 ounces of pineapple chunks out of a can. I don't have that. So I am going to use this organic frozen pineapple chunks. I feel like they're the same, obviously. 20 ounces. I'm just gonna do 2 handfuls. And see if that is good or not. So, pineapple chunks. And then you're gonna add the chicken. And it's calling for 3 to 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now, if you saw my stories, I got a lot of chicken for the price. Way more than I had thought, but hopefully it all works out. So I hate touching meat. It's not one of my favorite things. So I'm just gonna throw it in there. I should really wear some like those medical gloves because I just, oh, meat has never really been my thing. Washing it, cleaning it, taking it out, all of that stuff. I usually have my husband do it. Okay, so it looks like I need 2 more chicken breasts. Okay, so I have the 2 more chicken breasts. Let me add those. Or just 1, actually. This is a pretty big, oh no, it's 2. So there's 1, 2. Okay, and so that is the first meal, and this is sweet fire chicken. And then what you're gonna do is obviously seal them up. And I already labeled them, sweet fire chicken, and the date that I made them. And this one actually calls for extra ingredients when you cook them in the crock pot. It says to add cornstarch to thicken the sauce in here. So once you have it all in there, you're just gonna mash everything around, make sure it all gets seasoned. Tell you what, that sweet and fire sauce smells pretty good. So, you do that, and then you let the air out as much as possible. Okay, so there's one meal, and I made 2 of them. It's always good if you can to prep more so you don't have to do more work later on. Like I said, huge fan of prep once to eat twice. Probably save you a lot of time. And actually, I had a lot of these ingredients already. The only thing I didn't have was the sweet fire chili sauce. And that was like $5. And I'm sure you can find it cheaper if you went to Target or Walmart. But. And then you're just gonna lay it flat like this in your freezer. And so there's one right there. Okay, the next recipe we're doing is the honey sesame chicken. And this calls for 1 small onion. And I already diced it up. And I am doing a red onion. They're a little sweeter. And that's what I had. So I was like, I went out and just buy an onion for a new recipe. So instead of a small one, I guess you could add as much as you want depending on the flavor that you like of the onion. So just added 2 handfuls of it. Whoops. And then 2 garlic cloves. Have no idea what that means. So I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like looks good. And this is about 2 teaspoons of garlic. Now it calls for honey to sweeten it up. And these are Asian inspired meals. So they always use these like sweet and sour, spicy kind of combos. Calls for 1/2 cup. Again, like I said, I'm not big on the sugar, and that's quite a bit. So I will probably do 1/3 cup of honey. And this I got at Costco. Just kind of use my finger. So that was 1/3 of a cup. Oh good, it's gonna use it all. Perfect. So then there's another 1/3 cup of honey. Okay, let me wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done washing my hands, and it says now for 1/2 cup of soy sauce. And I'm using the tamari gluten-free kind. This is what I have. Surprisingly, I think it's from when I cooked with the Kristen Cavallari's True Roots. That's a good cookbook too, but those meals are not make ahead. So this is calling for 1/2 cup. Any slower, right? 1/2 cup. Okay, so I went ahead and added that other 1/2 cup. That was way too slow than I'd like. And now it's calling for 1/4 cup of ketchup. Interesting. So 1/4 cup ketchup. Whoops. I'll do not a full, but like a scant cup. Got it on the bag there. Wipe it off. 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I'll have to grab that. And then a 1/4 cup, or a 1/4 teaspoon, excuse me, 1/4 teaspoon of the red chili flakes. I really hope they're not as hot as I think, and the kids can handle it. And salt and pepper to taste. So I'll just, I guess, throw in a 1/4 teaspoon. I don't know why. That soy sauce is pretty salty, so you grab the ground pepper and it calls for vegetable oil, but I'm gonna use olive oil instead. So 2 tablespoons. I will just eyeball that. That looks about right. I don't know. So there's my 2 tablespoons. And then we'll go ahead and add some pepper. I'm not a big pepper fan. And then, so now it's time to add the chicken, and it's calling for 2 pounds of skinless chicken thighs. Okay. I think I'm just gonna add 6 thighs. 1 for each member of the family. Oh my gosh. My refrigerator is harping at me to close the door. So I think that was 4. There's 5. That is not 1. And we'll do 6. Okay, and so that one is all done. Let's finish the second one. Well, I'm glad I honestly ordered a lot of chicken, so this gives me enough to do 2 meal preps. I'm gonna add 1 more because I think that other one was pretty small. I really hope that didn't drip anywhere. I don't think it did. All right. So the honey sesame chicken is all done. Go ahead and do that. Make sure it's sealed. And go ahead and shake it up. Make sure everything's evenly coated in there. tell you what, these sauces smell so good though. And so this one is also calling for you to shred the chicken on the day that you cook it in the crock pot and then put it back in to the sauce. And then once you let it shred, to cook it again for another 15 to 30 minutes. And I say 15 because my crock pot is a little extra. Okay, so there's one baggie. Here's the next one. By extra, I mean like it cooks things super fast. Okay, that's evenly coated. Honey sesame chicken done. All right, next up is the sweet teriyaki chicken, and this is asking for boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm gonna start with the ingredients first. So it's saying 1 cup of diced yellow onion. I'm just gonna do 1 handful. I don't want too much onion in there per bag. 2 cloves of garlic again, so I'm just gonna put 2 teaspoons. But if you're a garlic lover, go for it. Oh, my eyes are watering from that onion. And then 1/2 cup of soy sauce. I will fast forward this because this obviously goes way too slow for me. Okay, so finish the bottle of soy sauce. I did not have enough, so I just try to put equal parts in there. Kind of is what it is. Honey, and then 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. And this I already had on hand as well. And this one's calling for 1/4 cup too. So 1/4 cup rice vinegar. Black pepper. What did I do with that? It says to sprinkle it, so that's what I'll do. And then 1 tablespoon of ginger. Ginger is not my favorite. Woo! Beforehand. So ginger is not my favorite, but I know it is so good for you. So it says a tablespoon. Let's see. Okay. Hope that doesn't come out too much. And then to add the chicken. And this is calling again for 2 pounds. So I don't know if I have 2 pounds left. Oh, that ginger is getting to my nose. The sauce does smell good though. Okay, so I think they each have about 5 pieces. Pretty close to the first one. And I'm gonna wash my hands because that was gross. Okay, and so that recipe is done. And this one also says to make sure that you have cornstarch on the day that you're cooking it to help thicken up the sauce. And this one called for honey, but I ran out. So I just added the sugar, a little bit of it, to give it a sweetness for whatever it's calling for. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna serve all of this. I was thinking about just making like one big pot of the my whole coconut jasmine rice and not sweetening it. So that's one. That doesn't look like much, but we'll see. We're experimenting. It's my first time with this. So let's mix. And I'm gonna clean up my workstation right now. And we'll do the last one, which is orange pepper chicken. Yum. Okay, you guys, we're in the home stretch. Orange pepper chicken, the last one. This one calls for 8 large chicken wings or drumsticks. Well, I don't have that, so I'm gonna use chicken breast. I'm just gonna do 2, because that's all I have. And this one should go actually pretty quickly because I ran out of some of the ingredients. Size chicken breast. So I feel like that should be fine. And then you're gonna add honey, which I don't have anymore, so I'm just gonna do a little less than 1/3 cup of sugar. So maybe like 1/4 cup. And then it calls for orange juice and 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna use Florida's Natural. They didn't have the other one that I wanted. So maybe I'll do 3. I know I said I would follow, but I kind of want like a heavier orange taste. So we'll do some orange juice. I actually have no more soy sauce either. So then we're gonna do the rice vinegar. It's calling for a tablespoon. And then lastly, ground ginger. Oh God. I'm assuming she means tablespoons when I see these, her abbreviations. So, tablespoon. And then lastly, because this is my last ingredient, red pepper flakes. It's okay. Well, we'll just throw in a dab of that. Red pepper flakes. It's calling for 1/2, but I'm just gonna do 1/4 in each. Okay. Perfect. Throw in a dab of salt. You guys, and that's the last bit of it. So this is the orange pepper chicken. Super easy. And I was actually able to use 2, or I was able to make 2 meals with all this meat. So if you saw my stories, you saw the grocery haul from Costco via Instacart. And so I make sure to try and include the prices and everything, because like I said, if you saw some of my opinions, you see that moms can feed their kids for like $150 a week, and I'm always like, what? It makes no sense in California prices. But surprisingly, I was able to get all of these ingredients via Instacart too, so the prices were a little bit more expensive for, I think like like $156. So maybe I can feed my family in California for $150 a week. We will see. But I didn't have to go out and buy a lot of ingredients. I should have bought more soy sauce, obviously, and I probably wouldn't have ran out. But that's it. I will add them to the freezer. Okay, you guys, that is it. That was 8 freezer meals, and I think it took just about an hour to prep all of that. The first 2, the sweet fire and the honey sesame, were the most ingredients went. So my tip, buy more soy sauce because I ran out. and end with honey as well. Yeah, that was pretty easy. Hopefully they taste good. They're crock pot meals, so I'm hoping to take those out on the day of and cook them before dinner, get them started at nap time, and then be ready to eat anywhere between 5:30 and 6. That is my plan. So yeah, I was able to do the dinners in under an hour. I'm gonna see if I can do the breakfast sandwiches sometime soon because I want to get those started for my hubby. And then probably prep some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm so sorry it went so fast, but I hope you were able to get it, write it down. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And in the words of Julia Child, bon appetit.